About a week ago is when I found out I was participating in this event. Before the video even begins, my name is Colin Ray Canto. I'm 19 years old, and this is my ultra marathon journey, essentially. Journey, I don't know if that's the right word, but before the video even begins, I apologize if I don't look in the camera too much. The flash is on, and my eyes are fucking pretty sensitive to that shit. 2, I'm sorry for the messy room. I'd be lying if I said that it's not usually this messy, but it gets fucking pretty messy sometimes. But yeah, guys, I mean, you read the fucking title. This is my 24-hour ultra marathon. For those of you who know me and keep up with the channel, I've done a few, I guess, out of the ordinary stunts, feats before. I've accomplished some cool feats, you could say, feats of strength, physically and mentally. 10 months ago, I made it a goal and an accomplishment to cycle 100 miles within 24 hours. From an ultra endurance athlete's perspective, that's not very impressive, but for a kid who knew nothing about nutrition, proper fueling, and honestly cycling in general, for starters, I use a mountain bike as opposed to a road. It was pretty good, you know, for a kid who didn't know his shit, 18-year-old kid. Thousands of feet of elevation. It took me 21 consecutive hours, mixed with breaks, eating, bathroom, you know, walking up hills. I didn't add the miles of me walking up hills. So yeah, that's the only time in my entire life I pulled an all-nighter. Excuse me, I didn't tell you guys, but today's Thursday, May 30th, 2024, and I set out on my 24-hour ultra journey in 9 days, next Saturday, June 8th through the June 9th. You know, 4:30 a.m. wake up, 6:30 I'll get there, you know, after I use the restroom, make a big breakfast, and stuff like that. 8 a.m. start time, 8 a.m. finish time. My goal is nothing less than 100 miles, and that may sound crazy to a lot of people, especially if you are a friend close to me, because you know I am nowhere near of shape, and I've done nothing like this before, to run 100 miles within 24 hours. I've ran 100 miles in the last 3 weeks. You know, now I have to do that again, but in a singular fucking day. I've been going back and forth with the American Heart Association, trying to get them to sponsor my race so I could spread awareness and raise some money for them. 2 of the most important men in my family, my life, have had open hearts in the last few months. It would mean a lot to me if I could get them to sponsor my race and to spread awareness. And I'll let you know how that turns out. 14-minute, 6-second miles, and that would get me at 100 miles in 23.5 hours, which would leave me 30 minutes to spare. I mean, 14-minute miles are basically walking, guys, but you have to keep in mind, to do this 100 hours, or excuse me, 100 miles, geez, 100 hours is like 3.5 days. But, no, that is 3 days. No, it's 4 days. Yeah, 4 days is 96 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, off topic. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna keep the fucking yapping to a minimum. I know I like to fucking yap, but guys, I can't really explain how glad I am to be in this position. What I mean by that is this physical position, in my fucking underwear, in my room, with a tripod and my iPhone up recording, in this chair. Reason being is, when I get in this position and start talking to you guys, I tend to put myself through a lot of mental torture. For those of you who do not know, don't keep on my channel. I mean, I've done half Ironman untrained, you know, triathlon untrained, ultra cycle untrained, swim, you know, ultra swim untrained. Guys, you got to keep in mind, I'm not a very fucking fit guy. I'm not in very good shape, so all this shit for me is pretty insane. I need to get a carbon plated shoe, guys. You know, that's the only thing I'm lacking on. My daily trainers on Nike Pegasus 39, but I need something carbon plated, because for those of you who don't know, carbon plated shoes make you quicker. They just give you the extra boost you need. And if I'm trying to fucking aim for 100 miles in 24 hours, guys, I need something quick. I am in nowhere near shape to do 100 miles in 24 hours. It's going to come down to all mental strength. I'm going to steal a quote from Tyson: adversity either makes the strong stronger or the weak weaker. And guys, I want to get out there and fucking kill any obstacle that comes my way. The blisters on my feet, you know, I'm not going to stop to take off my shoes or to change my socks. But guys, it's going to fucking suck either way. I'm going to embrace the suck. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if any family members are coming to save the race. I don't believe they are. these aren't going to be like my last challenges where I could record a lot, just for the simple fact that I'm timed, guys. I have a time limit. None of my other challenges had a time limit on them. It's just a matter of getting them done. This is a time limit in my own personal goal of 100 miles. And yeah. So I can't record too much. I'll record every 10-15 miles. A little clip for you guys. But I'll do a lot of voiceovers so you can know my thoughts during the race. I was on the phone with these guys the other day. There are 36 other competitors in this race. I'm the youngest one. I'm ready to kick ass, and it's going to be a long journey. A long, unenjoyable journey. But once you embrace the suck, it almost feels like fucking art. It almost feels like fucking arts and crafts. It feels like a playhouse. You know, just, I really have to give everything that I have. My goal is, I'm almost purposely setting a goal that's almost inhumanly, for me, inhumanly impossible, just because I'm not in very good shape, guys. I ran around 200 miles in the last 2 months. 160. I know I'm gonna have to dive into some deep thoughts in my head. Dive into some deep experiences just to push me through. Think of some dark times, which unfortunately I don't do it purposely. It just, I mean, when you push yourself that bad, it's gonna suck, guys. But yeah, I'm very excited to be able to share the experience with you. I love everyone watching this. I hope someone takes in something from this, whether they fucking take in just the enjoyment itself, or maybe they get motivated. You guys get motivated to go out and do something, guys. But at the end of the day, fuck your motivation. The way that I see it is, you must be disciplined. You know, motivation comes and goes, discipline stays forever. I mean, motivation isn't shit, guys. I'm very fortunate in a sense where I am always motivated, almost always motivated, but I'm 1000% always fucking disciplined. Not sometimes, guys. For example, Chips a fucking Ahoy. I'm gonna eat one on camera. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna eat one of these. $50 calories a cookie. It's not even that bad. But I'm excited to show the experience with you. I love you all. And one more thing I want to say. During these challenges, during these physical and mental feats, you really understand who the fuck you are. Those questions that you ask to yourself, or at least myself, those questions that you ask yourself as a fucking man, if you think that you're fucking man enough, if you think that you're tough enough, guys, like, times of adversity, times where fucking every fucking thing's going, like, I'm gonna be so tired, I'm gonna be drifting while I'm running, my feet are gonna be blistered, like, I'm already envisioning everything, but you gotta know who the fuck you are, man. Like, you have to know who the fuck you are, dude. And I don't even know if I don't think I'll be in good enough shape to drive back home. I might just have to chill out in Rockland County for a little bit. Gotta know who the fuck you are, guys. Just even talk. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm talking about it. This is the most I've talked aloud about it since I've registered for the race, and I don't want to do it, man. But I just want to give everything I have out there. And if I could get the sponsor and to raise awareness for this American Heart Association, oh my God, that'd be fantastic. That would just give me, I know I said it's not good, guys, but that would just give me that fucking much more motivation to finish this shit strong, guys. And yeah, I love everyone, and I thank you guys for watching. What's up, guys? Sorry for the very weird lighting / setup, but it is 10:19 p.m. It's Thursday the 6th, and just to think, tomorrow I wake up, work a full day work, and then I really have to get a good night's rest and wake up the next morning and go to my race. It's almost surreal, because I mean, I've just spent so much time consumed the last 14, 15, 16 days just thinking about this race, and honestly, like, this is a very huge goal of mine, and I would love to run 100 miles in 24 hours. So I got a few things I'll show you guys for the race. I have my headlamp. It's pretty bright. Warning. Damn, that shit's bright as fuck. But yeah, I have 2 of them. They're all charged up. They should last around 6 hours each. So just in case they don't, or if any other thing fails to keep battery, like my phone or possibly maybe earbuds if I bring, I have power. I mean, I needed one of these anyway. It's just a fucking, it's small too. It's like you keep this shit in your pocket. It's smaller than your phone. It's a portable charger. And then of course I have my hydration bag. Yeah, and it carries half gallon of water. This is going to be a very interesting experience. I mean, just to think that 10 months ago I cycled, or maybe 11, now at this point we're at 11 months ago I cycled 100 miles a year in a day. Just to think that I'm doing that again, but while running, or at least attempting, is kind of crazy. And yeah, I mean, it's to the point where I'm literally willing to give this everything that I have. Not that I wasn't going to begin with, but I swear, guys, like I'm willing to give up like a fucking toe or a fucking foot. I just really want this race, man, to go in my favor, and I know it will. And yeah, like I said before, you dive into pretty deep times while things are going ugly, but that's all I have to say. And I'll see you guys either tomorrow night or the morning of the race. Goodbye. What's up, guys? It's 8:36 p.m. We are 12 hours out from the start of the race. I'm waking up at 4:30. Gonna make breakfast, use the bathroom, stuff like that. Leave the house at 5, arrive to the race around 6:15. I just want to share with you guys real quick. I've never been so nervous for something in my entire life. Unfortunately, the American Heart Association isn't too good at, working with me on something like this, which is completely okay. That's all right. Psychologically, that might take a little effect on me. Yeah, guys, I'm just super nervous. Like I've said before, I mean, I've never done something like this in my entire life. So gauging how hard it is extremely difficult for me. It's almost impossible. But my game plan is to hold a 14:06 for as long as humanly possible. And we'll see how it goes. I'll probably get to bed around 9 p.m. And yeah, we'll get a good 7 hours of sleep, which is pretty solid. But I love you if you're watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
What's up, guys? It's currently 4:49 a.m. Put my watch down to charge. Yeah, so I kind of laid out everything on my bed just to make sure I have everything. This is all going back in the bag. I have my 2 headlamps, the 2 chargers for the headlamps in case one of them goes bad. I have the charger for the power, for this thing, whatever it's called, for the portable charger. Although I don't have a cube, so without any outlet, I'm pretty much screwed. Hopefully this just lasts. So it's my fucking watch. And then I have this, which is for my cell phone, obviously. Yeah, guys, it's 4:49 a.m. and I'll see you at the fucking race, guys. This is it, man. So yeah, you guys, for anyone curious what I'm having before the race, it is it is 5 a.m. It's only been like 10 minutes since I recorded the last clip. I just took a shower. And yeah, so I'm eating 2 packets of original Quaker oats with half a cup of Fairlife 2% with 21 grams of 100% pure raw and unfiltered honey. So yeah, 21 grams will give you about 70 calories, 18 grams of carbs. This whole meal is about 70 grams of carbs. So yeah, nice amount of carbs. This is it, guys. I mean, it's 6:43 a.m. The other competitors are starting to get their stuff together, and yeah, pretty nervous, but I'll see you in a few hours. I'll record. Guys, it is 7:33. Nipples are bandaged. KT tape around the feet where I get blisters the most. About to drink my electrolytes. And we got petroleum jelly in between the toes. So, fuck man. Like I said, 7:34, 26 minutes until the race begins. And yeah, fucking nervous, but let's do this. Guys, I don't know if you can see that. We are almost 25 miles in, about a quarter of the way. My average pace has been about 12 minutes. We're about 5 hours in, guys. It's 1 p.m. And in order to get 24 hours, 100 miles in 24 hours, you need to do 25 miles every 6 hours. I've done 25 in 5.
So that's where I first messed up. I found a gentleman who would pace me, so I kind of just paced off him for the first 10 to 12 miles, which at that time it would have taken me, I was probably doing 4.5 miles an hour, you know. So that for the first 2 to 2.5 hours, I paced off this gentleman who was going at a 11:45-ish pace, and I felt terrific doing so. I felt like genuinely, I got a bit too confident. I felt like I could do that forever. That's where I first messed up on. I went out way too hard.
So I'm about an hour above pace, but my legs started hurting at mile 12.
So when I meant legs, I really was referring to that fucking glare. I really was referring to specifically my knees. My knees were getting pretty bad around mile 12, but I knew it was something I could handle for at least, another several miles. Legs and actual feet came into play much later, which you'll see.
And yeah, they're hurting real bad. As far as heart rate goes, I'm a steady 135 to 145. The route is very scenic. Very beautiful route. I'll record a bit. Sorry, I haven't recorded much. It's just, but legs are not feeling good. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything to kind of remedy them because I'm stupid.
Obviously, the experience and the race is over, but looking back at it, it was a very foolish mistake to not bring at least BioFreeze to kind of help numb that pain. I've never experienced an ultra marathon like this, or an ultra marathon at all, I should say. So I didn't know how to combat things necessarily. Honestly, looking in hindsight, if I had brought something, the race would have gone a lot differently, obviously in my favor. But that's okay. We live and we learn. And this was just a very humbling experience.
But I'll record a bit of the routes and a bit of the path. Very nice. It's Rockland State Park in New York. It's on the border of New York and Jersey. It's in Congers and near the Palisades Mall. And this body of water particularly is not really used for swimming, just fishing. So you see a lot of fishers, not right now, but we'll get on the other side. And yeah, they're enjoying their time and stuff out on the water with the boats and the kayaks. Yeah, it's about 75 degrees and sunny. So, it's all right weather, but for running, it's not very ideal just because you lose a lot of electrolytes in the sun.
So obviously, even knowing this, that the sun is it fucks you up as a runner. I still went out hard, still made it a point, to go out hard, while it was daylight, because I was speaking to a gentleman earlier who was doing the 12-hour marathon, and he had mentioned how his goal was to slow down in the nighttime because he could afford it, because he had went out hard in the sun. And I think that sound excuse me, that sounded smart to me at the time. Looking in hindsight, it was just not a good game plan for me. So, not blaming my failure on that guy. I was going out fast regardless, just because I felt amazing. For all you runners, you experienced guys, you know that is a fucking terrible idea to do. Never go out too hard. Which I don't usually do. Like, if I'll go on a 5-mile run, I'll start at maybe a 9 minute, go to an 8:55, go to 850, 840, you know, but that's okay.
But they have aid stations about every mile or so. So yeah.
So a little funny story about that gentleman that I recorded subconsciously, not really intentionally, I guess, but was a few minutes before I recorded that, he saw me slowing down and even walking a bit, and he said, let's go, brother. So I kind of just paced off him for a good amount of miles, and I was in such bad pain. But the reason why I did so was I made a mental note before the racing began. I was like, this guy's in fucking good shape. So I don't know, like he just kind of gave me that little bit of motivation, I guess. Funny fucking story, but I figured I'd share that little clip with you guys, a little bit of backstory.
I don't know if you can see that, but almost 27 miles, 9 laps. Each lap is 3 miles. And if you can see right there, we got the, hold on. Sorry guys. We got the 100 miles, which is equivalent to 34 laps. Which is obviously what we're going for today. My legs aren't in the greatest spot. Mentally, not all there. But yeah.
Little clip was almost an unintentional lie, because even though my legs were fucked, I was mentally good, because, or at least in comparison to what later would I would have turned into, but mentally I was still there because I was on pace to hit my goal, and I was still recording. I was still having hopes. I felt all right mentally, looking in hindsight. But in comparison to what I later would have felt, it's fuck, man. I just felt like shit during the time, but let's just say that was a good fucking, I felt fine.
Guys, it's like 8:15.
I'm gonna sit on this side to block the glare, but the last clip I recorded of the little 100-miler fucking yard sign was at 1:41 p.m. This clip was recorded at 8:15 p.m. It had been 7 hours. I ran from 1:41 p.m. until around 4:30. I called my buddy David, and I'm like, Dave, bro, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm completely like fucked, dude. Like my spirits were very low, and my physical, it was done. Around mile 30 to 32 is when my legs are just like, dude, I'm done, man. I had ran 32, 33 miles in about 8.5 hours, so I was still on pace, I guess. You know, I had ran a third of the time in a third of the hour, but I still had to cover so much fucking distance in such a long amount of time where it just kind of broke my spirits. You know, and I figured that, you know, if I could barely fucking walk, man, like if I could barely walk, I'm screwed. So basically what happened was I recorded that last clip of the yard sign at fucking 1:40. I run until 4:30. I cover probably 5-6 miles of distance in that time. I call my buddy Dave, and I'm like, Dave, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to call the fucking race. He says, run another few miles, see how you feel. I honestly couldn't do so. I get in my car, I begin to drive home at mile 32. 30 minutes in my drive home, I'm like, I just have to finish this race, man. Like, even if I don't finish, even if I don't hit my fucking goal, I have to give it everything that I have, unless, like, I just wouldn't be able to, like, I don't know if it's an ego thing or if it's whatever, but I just wouldn't physically be able to look in that fucking mirror. And so that's what I decided to do. I probably killed 2 hours of time of little resting in my car, along with the time it took me to drive my way home and back, and to, you know, put on all my stuff and shit. But that clip at 8:15 is when I began again. So from 4:30 to 8:15 was basically doing nothing, jack shit, resting, driving, whatever. Another funny story is when I get out of my car, I physically cannot get out of it. My legs were fucked, man. Like I had, like it was way beyond mental at this point, which it's way beyond mental, man. Like physically, my legs began hurting at 20. So just to think I ran another 30 miles on top of that, or excuse me, my legs began hurting at mile 12. So just think I ran another 30 miles on top of that. I'm very proud of myself. But then again, I had no idea what I was getting into. And this really fucking humbled me.
I'm not sure exactly how many miles in. I had to change my t-shirt. Guys, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really say it earlier, but after 12, my spirit was kind of broken, which is crazy because 12 miles is not that many. But the reason being is because my legs were really giving out on me. Since my strides were a lot shorter than what I'm used to, my legs, the impact on the ground, it was a lot heavier, you know. So right now my legs are torn and my feet are torn, but we've been going at it for a little over 12 hours. Guys, you probably can't see me at all, sorry about that, but we are 13 hours in. Spirits are high.
So I noticed with me, a lot of you guys might be able to relate with this, is I just had roller coasters of emotions. It sounds a bit feminine, sounds a bit gay, but that's just honestly how it was. I remember here when I recorded the clip at 8:15 when it was still semi-light out, I felt like shit. But after walking, because I was walking a lot at that particular time, I was probably doing 16, 17, 18-minute miles. So I was on track for 3 miles an hour. A little over 3 miles an hour. My spirits weren't bad, but physically, like, it was so bad for me. Like, this is how you know it was beyond mental, because I still felt all right, even though I kind of look like shit, and I kind of like sound like depressed and shit. But even though it doesn't look it, I did feel spiritually high.
Legs, if I'm being completely honest, I'll get more into like an in-depth review, I guess, or in-depth conversation with you guys. But anything after mile 12 was a real struggle for me. And then once a third of the way hit, or what would have been a third, 33 miles or around 32, I kind of gave up mentally. Yo guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's been probably like 2 hours since I recorded that last clip, and right now I need a little bit of rest, so we'll try to get a little nap in. They have like this little cool, but fuck, man, my legs are like done.
Even though I didn't say it, it was right here when it's sad to say, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to be able to finish this race. Physically, I've never gone through something like that in my entire life. And just the fact that I'm up here right now, a day later, and just even talking is kind of surprising to me, because when I got home last night, I was like shaking really bad after I took off all my clothes, and just like my body is just not used to it. On top of the mental roller coasters, I guess, and the physical pain, one thing that also hit me in the last 2 hours from that last clip to this clip was just tiredness. Which, that fucking killed me, man, because that was just another thing that I had to almost fight through and had to take into account, and it really broke my spirits.
Guys, I just got home. I failed big time. Tomorrow I'll kind of go over everything that happened. I know I didn't get too many clips in this video. Overall is pretty fucking sloppy, but I mean, this was a hard one. Yeah, underestimated. But yeah, I'll get a few I'll get a sit down conversation with you guys and tell you just really what the fuck happened and my thoughts and experience.
So yeah, guys, I mean, that was it. Not too long after I was resting in that little bed table with the fucking cloth on it, which honestly did help, by the way, I decided to go home. I was probably 15 hours in. I ran 41 miles in 14 hours. It's weird because I had the goal of 100 miles, guys, in 24 hours, and the only question of self-doubt I had was whether I'd be able to complete 100 miles or not whether I'd be able to even go 24 hours. Going out like that was very difficult. It really fucked me up, honestly. I was, at the end there, I was walking a lot, obviously, and I spoke to a few gentlemen who were also walking, and they said, yeah, that's the most guys will kill themselves when they go out too hard like that. That's their biggest mistakes. And they were actually walking the entire race, which was just looking back at it, if I did that, I would have gotten more miles and most likely would have been able to finish, which was insane to me. But the fact that I ran 40 miles is like actually ran pretty much 40 miles was awesome. So it's weird because this is the first challenge. This is the first challenge that I failed. First challenge I made for myself that I failed, which makes me happy. But the way I failed, it was it doesn't, a little bit on that, guys. The reason why it makes me happy was I just set a goal so beyond my fucking capacity where I failed it. But I did try my best. But the reason why I'm also upset was because I don't know, guys, like I don't know what to say. I'm a bit sad, but no blisters on the feet. I put KT tape on. Very happy about that. Back is really sore, as well as the feet and the legs, obviously. This really humbled me. These ultra marathon runners are insane. I mean, I'll show you a picture of the list of people and stuff like that, along with myself. And these guys are, in there. I was the youngest guy, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Being younger should mean better shape. But no, not in cases like this, I suppose, where, being older definitely gives you the upper hand because you have more experience with ultras. I guess the reason why I am upset that I failed it was, and then the way I failed it was just because I failed it by so much. Not only did I not complete the race, but I was less than halfway. I'm very, very, I'm proud that I kept pushing when it hurt, when I thought that it was impossible. I'm proud that of the moment where I turned around and made the decision that I wanted to give it everything that I had. But everything that I had, guys, it still wasn't enough. And that idea is just, it's a bit haunting. It's a bit daunting. The fact that I could have literally walked and enjoyed myself-ish the entire time and still finish with more miles is pretty insane. But holy shit, just doing that. Like, I've cycled for 21 hours with breaks and walking up hills and bullshit. And that was really bad, guys. But this is just, like, I've never been in much pain. The cycling, my legs, I went to work the next day. My legs were fine. My heart was, like beating irregularly, which was a weird feeling. But my legs were genuinely okay. And like running is, holy shit. Holy shit. Sorry if I bitch a lot in the video. Yeah, in terms of fueling, they had aid stations. I think I said a little bit in the video, but every 3 miles was their main aid station. Every 3 miles was equivalent to 1 loop. I needed 34 loops. I got 14. Yeah. But in terms of fueling, I had electrolytes every probably 2 miles. Watermelon, half cup bananas, half PB&Js, light, but a lot of carbs that would help me. And yeah, guys, I really believe, I'm not just saying this, that it was beyond mental. I just don't think I'm physically where I need to be, which is also humbling. If I hadn't ran, I could be in a much different spot right now, across that finish line with the medal in my hand. And the fact that that didn't happen is It's nobody's fucking fault, guys. It's me. Usually you guys see happiness at the end of these videos because I've accomplished what I wanted to. This time's different. And I'm getting sad just fucking thinking about it. But I'll go out there harder next time in July or August and really do my fucking research, guys. I'm untrained. So I like to think of it as like I'm like I could say to myself, I'm untrained. I've never ran more than fucking however many miles. I don't know. This is my first ultra marathon. I'm only 19. Guys, don't play fucking victim. You're a fucking pussy. I lost because I was not physically or even mentally. I mean, mentally, if I really wanted to, I could fucking crawled. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not where I need to be. And that's why I failed. And yeah, fucking humbling, man. Humbling. Guys, don't play victim. Don't play victim. Like, if I were to sit here and say, I'm only 19, that was my first ever ultra, I've never ran for 14 hours, it's a bunch of BS, guys. It's a bunch of fucking BS. You know, it's just fucking coping. That's coping to try to make yourself feel better. I lost because I didn't have what it took, you know, which saying that out loud makes me want to put a shotgun in the fucking mouth. But hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I didn't get too many clips. I mean, my first clip was 25 miles in, and I only ran 42 miles. But 41.2, something like that. But yeah, I didn't get too many clips just because I'm very, very happy because nothing has let me this broken and hurt physically and mentally. And I know when something leaves you hurt physically, mentally, and broken, it's just growing, you know, and that's not coping bullshit. Like, I know I will grow from this, and I'm very happy-ish with the experience. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.